So this whole sacrificing blood has to be shed to atone for sin. That was God's whole thing. He's the one who created that whole sacrifice, shed blood to atone for sin situation. Um, he created that. Those are his rules. Jesus died on the cross for us, so we don't have to do that. But we die in sin. People die in sin. People die from lung cancer. People die from being murdered. We die because of the fall of man in the Garden of Eden. So, I don't know. It just, why did God set it up that way, I guess is my question. Why did he do that? And since he is God and he has that much power, then why did he create this whole sacrifice to atone for sin situation? Why did he for centuries have the old law in effect if he knew everything and he did? So why didn't he just go ahead and get his Jesus groove going, from the beginning? What was the point of that? And that just, it seems to me to be animal-like. It seems to me to do something like that, to create a situation like that, is brutal. It's animalistic. It's just to me it's primitive, and so none of us can be perfect like God. Well, we all know that. No, nobody else was Jesus but Jesus. We all know that. Nobody's God but God. We know that. We were created and put on the face of the earth. God created us this way. And he wants us to choose not to sin. Well, it's probably in our best interest not to sin. And it's our best interest to do the things that God says in the Bible. The Ten Commandments work for everybody, make everybody happier, and keep everybody living peaceably together. And, the good lessons that we learned from Jesus were good. But why would you send your child, to die like that on a cross, completely sinless? If you were God and you could do it any way you wanted to, why'd you have to set it up like that to begin with? Couldn't you have created another way where people wouldn't suffer, where people, wouldn't have to go through the agony of human life and the torturous choice between good and evil, and choosing to follow God. There are people that follow the rules of the Bible that don't believe in Jesus. There are people who love Jesus who break every rule in the book. So, and say that somebody died on the cross for all of us. I believe that. I believe that, that's what the Bible says. So, okay. That's the way God set it up. All right, I understand that. It just seems so primitive to me, that's all. It seems like such a primitive thing. And I think the way I really look at it is the Bible is just, it's a good book. It's a good book. And there are a lot of good moral lessons in it. And that God does speak through the Bible. But it's not the only way. It can't be. How could God condemn people on other continents and other nations that have never been exposed to Christianity and Christian values? And now in this day and age, with telecommunications and all that type of thing, the gospel can be spread all around the world, but that's only been relatively within the last century. Missionaries that are going to spread the word and all that kind of stuff, through the centuries. But for centuries, there had to be people up until just recent history, relatively speaking, comparatively